My name's Michael Denny. I'm an aspiring filmmaker and videographer. The reason I'm putting together this video is so I can showcase some of the techniques and special effects that have captivated me for so many years. These special effects were pioneered from some of the greatest minds in the industry.
Building models. Definitely not an easy or quick process, but definitely an effective one that can greatly enhance the feel of any video. Models have been used in movies for a very long time to convey depth, size perspective, and in many cases, sheer terror.
The clever use of models and miniatures has been a staple in many big-budget Hollywood movies, but really anyone with the patience and time can create relatively believable models.
These models can be made even more dynamic when combined with techniques like forced perspective.
Basically, forced perspective is when objects or people are strategically placed closer to the camera while other objects are kept at a distance. With clever framing, a camera operator can deceive the audience into believing someone is taller or shorter than they appear, just like Peter Jackson did in the Lord of the Rings series. Through the film, Peter Jackson used forced perspective along with specially designed sets to make Frodo and the rest of the Hobbit cast seem much smaller than the other characters in the film.
So models are cool and all, but without an interesting way of interacting with them, they're basically just a mass of balsa and glue. So I brought along the perfect subject for my forced perspective example, a giant spider.
With a good model and some trick photography, a harmless puppet, action figure, or insect can be transformed into a behemoth of gargantuan proportions.
Add some intriguing lighting, some edgy sound effects, and what you'll have is the makings of a great monster movie or science fiction flick.
Jason and the Argonauts is considered to be one of the best examples of stop-motion in film. This film, along with many other classic stop-motion sequences in film and TV, inspired me to create my own stop-motion sequence. During the filming of the initial chapter of this movie, I decided to record myself constructing the mini-city in a stop-motion fashion.
During this project, I experienced the difficulty and the tenuous process of actually animating objects on screen. This short tidbit of stop-motion animation gives me a new respect for people like Harryhausen, the man that created the special effects in Jason and the Argonauts. Building the city was fun, but as a viewer, I don't think you get the full effect of stop-motion animation unless you see actual characters or figures moving in frame. That's why for this example of stop-motion animation, I'm going to use one of my favorite movie monsters, Godzilla.
Honestly, what better way to showcase stop-motion in my mock city than using the king of monsters, Godzilla? Just like in his many movies, I will show the giant monster wreaking havoc in the miniature city with only the technique of stop-motion animation fueling the destruction.
Stop-motion animation is really the most grueling effect I'm going to demonstrate. Basically, stop-motion is just taking a series of photographs of an object and moving that object just a little bit each frame to facilitate movement. This creates a really organic, cool look that wouldn't otherwise be possible with just regular photographs or video. The process culminates into a unique effect that can enhance a video from both an artistic and visual standpoint. Now let's see how it turned out.
Blood, an important part of any biological organism. The substance is responsible for so many physiological and chemical functions that it is instantly recognizable.
The production industry has taken advantage of this instant recognition for the sake of shock value and some cinematic realism.
For years, movies and TV shows have injected this viscous fluid into every scenario imaginable, from the traumatic thud of a 2x4 against a zombie's skull to the exciting duels of cinema's spaghetti westerns. Blood is a visual staple that sells realism in films and maybe some comic relief. So I decided to mix up a batch of my own blood. Of course, there are dozens of recipes, but I was able to find one that looked pretty realistic.
Creating prop fluids is really fun, but it's even more fun finding creative ways to integrate them into my movies.
So I'm going to recreate a scene from one of my favorite movies to show just how effective prop fluids can be. The movie is Dawn of the Dead. Not the remake, the original. To be more specific, it's the part when the antagonist strikes a zombie with a prop machete. To showcase this effect, I created a prosthetic zombie bust, also known as a watermelon. This way I could display just how Tom Savini, the special effects artist on the original film, went about making the gruesome effect.
Basically, the special effects artist took the machete to a blacksmith and had the blacksmith cut a groove into the actual blade that matched the size and shape of the zombie's head.
Then it was just a matter of placing the machete on the wound, then removing it quickly. After that, all they had to do was reverse the film and add a sound effect. Because I don't know any blacksmith, I decided to cut the prosthetic the old-fashioned way.
The prosthetic combined with the prop blood makes for a pretty convincing effect. Far better than green screen blood or something you made on a computer. And it's also an excellent way of showcasing body trauma in any movie.
After a long production schedule, the video is finally done, and I feel satisfied after showing just how to accomplish these techniques. The purpose of this video is to show just how effective the camera and your own creativity can be. That you can make awesome effects without turning to After Effects or a computer to do all the work. That sometimes the organic effects that you create in your own mind are the best ones.